Hey y'all, Shay here. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to The Prodigy. Also, don't forget to click the notification bell so you can be notified whenever The Prodigy drops a new video. Most importantly, please share the video you like. Thank you.
What's good? It's your boy 2K here. Yeah, we cooking today. Motherfuckers done pissed me off. Shout out to the whole crew, 3kingsboxing.com. Make sure you go to 3kingsboxing.com. We really doing our thing over there. Also, shout out to all of our affiliates and everybody who's been rocking with us from day one. For this one, we're going to talk a little bit about Terence Crawford avoiding the fight with Shawn Porter. Now, there's a couple of different perspectives that we can go over here, but one of the main things I want to debunk is this whole idea that it's okay to avoid a fight because you don't want to fight your friend. Listen, man, this is boxing. You know what I'm saying? And if you got friends who are in the same division as you and they happen to be in your way while you're trying to achieve glory, then you gotta bump them off, man. It is what it is. Actually, man, you know, a lot of these fighters are actual friends from the amateurs. You know, when you see professionals, you know, in the ring with each other, 9 times out of 10, they know who they are. You know, when we're talking like more so the elite fighters, the top contenders, right? They know who those guys are. They have seen them in the amateurs before. Maybe they fought them before. Like the whole Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Gervonta Davis circle, you know what I'm saying? All of them motherfuckers have sparred each other before as amateurs and as professionals. You know what I'm saying? So these guys actually know each other, right? Prior to being in the professionals or maybe during their prospect times as a professional. And you end up making friends with a lot of different people. I mean, Shawn Porter's a guy that everybody's gonna end up liking. You know what I'm saying? He's a good dude, man. 100% well-rounded good dude, right? So if you know Shawn Porter, chances are you're probably going to end up liking the guy. So that means Shawn Porter should not get fights with any fucking body then, if we use the whole logic that Terence Crawford is using for why he doesn't want to fight Shawn Porter. It's fucking ridiculous, right? Also, there's this notion that Terence Crawford doesn't want to fight Shawn Porter because he wants Errol Spence. And I want you guys to understand something with this theory, right? A lot of motherfuckers have jumped on Terence Crawford. No, that's bullshit. Fuck that shit, nigga. Fuck that shit, nigga. Fight Shawn Porter, nigga. Fuck that, nigga. Nigga, you gotta get Shawn Porter before you get Errol Spence. Listen, where was that energy when Dillian White was put in front of Deontay Wilder while Wilder was asking for Anthony Joshua? Yes, Anthony Joshua is the unified champion. He was the unified champion back in 2018 when they were all going through this whole negotiation period that I told you guys during the middle of it that, hey, he's not fighting Wilder. Hey, everybody, stop talking about this. Joshua will not fight Wilder. He's going to fight Alexander Povetkin. Why do I know this? Because Andre Ryabinski, the motherfucker that's equivalent to his own mob out there in Russia, has already spoken and said Joshua will fight Povetkin next. I told you guys to stop talking about it. You didn't fucking listen. Then you came back and was like, damn, 2K, you was right. I know I'm fucking right. So, you know, they had that whole negotiation period that just ended up with Joshua fighting Povetkin, right? But during that negotiation period, remember, Wilder was like, hey, man, I want to fight that guy, right? Because that guy has 3 titles. I got 1. We want to unify and name an undisputed champion. Sure, I agree 100%. And I also agreed that I didn't like Eddie Hearn throwing Dillian White in front of Anthony Joshua as some sort of guard dog that Deontay Wilder had to get by in order to get to Anthony Joshua. My thing was, hey, Anthony Joshua already knocked this motherfucker out. Why the fuck do we need to see him fight Dillian White so we can see this motherfucker for a second time have his arm hanging out the ropes, man? You know what I'm saying? Not interested in that. We need the unification belt, right? We need the undisputed belt, right? But here's the deal here. You have to have the same energy, people. If you had that energy for Deontay Wilder, basically saying, nah, man, he ain't got to fight Dillian Whyte. We want the unification. Then you should have the same energy for Terence when it comes to fucking Shawn Porter. Because remember, Shawn Porter no longer has a belt. Errol Spence has 2 belts. Terence Crawford wants to unify. He doesn't want to fight a guard dog that PBC is throwing in front of fucking Errol Spence, right? And the reason why I say PBC is because PBC is the one that gave Kenny Porter the okay for Shawn Porter to look to fight Terence Crawford, right? This is why I said there's so many perspectives on this topic that we can cover. But PBC threw a guard dog in front of Errol Spence and said, hey, nah, man, fight this motherfucker first. We'll give you a bone. Him. Terence Crawford, besides the fact that he's saying that's his friend, if you believe the idea that he's not fighting Shawn Porter because he wants to fight Errol Spence in a unification, then you gotta give him a pass because you gave Deontay Wilder the same pass as it pertains to Dillian Whyte and Anthony Joshua. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I told y'all I was gonna be cooking today. But here's my stance. I do believe that Terence Crawford wants to unify against Errol Spence, because if you came to him and said, all right, man, Errol Spence is going to be your next opponent, April 2020, we got everything already panned out. All you got to do is sign on the dotted line. Yep, this is going to be your figures. You like those numbers? Sign on the dotted line. I guarantee you Terence Crawford signs on the dotted line. The nigga will start trying to sign on the motherfucker and won't even have a pen in his hand. You know what I'm saying? He'd be like, damn, oh shit, my bad. Somebody give me a fucking pen. You know what I'm saying? That's how quick he would to try to sign on that dotted line if you threw Errol Spence in his face, right? So I do believe that Terence Crawford would rather unify, take a unification bout, than try to fight Shawn Porter. But I also believe a larger part of that is because Shawn Porter is his friend. Here's a problem I got with that, man. Let's do a little bit of boxing history, because y'all know I always support my claims with facts. Do you remember a WBO title bout at lightweight back in 2012? A lot of you British fans are definitely going to remember this. Between a guy by the name of Ricky Burns, who had just got his WBO title. I believe he defended it one time. Ricky Burns fought a guy by the name of Kevin Mitchell, right? And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Kevin Mitchell may have been an undefeated fighter. You know what I'm saying? I remember the build up to that fight was Ricky Burns and Kevin Mitchell talking about how they valued their friendship so much, right? How they've done this and that, how they hang out all the time, you know, they love each other, they spar all the time, etc., right? So Ricky Burns said, hey, one of my best friends is in my way, I gotta take him out. And that he did. I believe he knocked Kevin Mitchell out in the 4th round. And not only did he knock him out, he actually fucked his career up. You know what I'm saying? Kevin Mitchell retired shortly after. I think he took another loss or so after that, and then ended up retiring not too much later. He no longer had that confidence that an undefeated fighter has. You know what I'm saying? When they're going through the rankings, they're running through everybody. This is why you see guys beating it, like Jeff Lacey, for example. You saw Jeff Lacey was beating the shit out of everybody, right? And then he gets in there with Joe Calzaghe and gets obliterated for 12 fucking rounds. And he was no longer the same. It's because the confidence is not there anymore, right? You build confidence when you're beating up C, D level fighters, hell, sometimes B level fighters. You build all this confidence. Then when you get in there with an elite motherfucker in your division and he basically runs right through you like you was never shit, it diminishes your confidence. It's kind of equivalent to a woman telling you after you done smashed up so many women and gave them all orgasms, you finally get that one bitch that doesn't even feel nothing that you're doing. You know what I'm saying? That's real talk. You know what I'm saying? And you looking at yourself like, damn, I was the man and shit. What happened? You know what I'm saying? It's equivalent to that. I'm not speaking by experience, by the way. Just saying. It's equivalent to that. You know what I'm saying? So this is what happens. His confidence was crushed. He was no longer the same fighter, right? But Ricky Burns said, hell, I got to defend my WBO title. I'm not trying to lose it. He ended up losing it to Terence Crawford a couple fights later. That's either here nor there. At that time, he wasn't trying to get stripped, so he said, fuck it. Bring on my best friend. I'll whoop his ass too. Let's go to another one. I'll take you back to 1987. Evander Holyfield fought a very good friend of his by the name of Henry Tillman for the WBA cruiserweight title, right? Now this led to the start of Evander Holyfield becoming an undisputed champion at cruiserweight, right? Henry Tillman was in his way. Henry Tillman and Evander Holyfield, their friendship goes all the way back to the 1984 Olympics, right? Hell, Evander Holyfield was the best man in Henry Tillman's wedding. That's how good of friends those two guys were. You know what I'm saying? And in 1987, right? In 1987, Evander Holyfield said, hey man, you know, I really like the guy, but at the end of the day, I gotta knock this motherfucker out. I gotta beat him. You know what I'm saying? Because there is a championship belt on the line. And that he did. Evander Holyfield knocked out his best friend in 7 rounds. Let's go to another one. More recent. Shit. Shawn Porter and Errol Spence. Not best of friends, but they were friends. Neither one of those two guys talked about, oh man, we're too good of friends. You know, PBC is talking about making this unification belt. You know what I'm saying? But it's going to be on our terms. They ain't put no shit like that. It's gonna be whether or not we decide we really want to fight each other or not. Wasn't no fucking shit like that, man. You didn't even know they were friends. You found out about the shit after the fight. I mean, we knew, Three Kings Boxing knew before that, but a lot of motherfuckers didn't even know they were friends. You know what I'm saying? And their friendship is dated. It's not recent. They've been friends. And they got it on, put on a hell of a fight. In my opinion, it was fight of the year of 2019. Tried to knock each other's fucking heads off, man. Right? Let's go to another one. Simon Brown versus fucking Maurice Blocker, man. Take y'all back to the old school, 1991, man. Fucking WBC welterweight title. Yeah. Simon Brown and Maurice Blocker. Simon Brown knocked out Maurice Blocker in the fucking 10th round. They're really good friends. Now, what is the common denominator with all these examples that I've given you? They were all title fights, man. They were all fights in which both men saw an opportunity to better their careers, but they had to go through a good friend of theirs in order to do it. And they said, fuck it, let's do it. So this is where I do not agree with Terence Crawford and this whole friendship shit, man. That shit out of here. Furthermore, Shawn Porter's not giving a fucking about that either. Shawn Porter don't give a shit. He's like, yeah, let's go. Kenny Porter's like, yeah, Kenny Porter definitely don't give a fuck. He's like, yeah, let's go. Right? So why does that matter? Why is that even a topic? Oh, you know, we're good friends. Oh man, you know, it'll be on our terms. Why is that even a topic? I hope to God that I'm wrong, that Terence Crawford has rejected this fight because of their friendship status, and more so because of the whole same situation that Deontay Wilder was in with Anthony Joshua and Dillian White. I hope he rejected it because he said, no, I want Errol Spence. I want that unification. Don't try to throw no guard dog at me. Tell me I got to go through a guard dog to get to the unification. I got a belt. He's got 2 belts. Let's make the fight happen. After that, let's go for undisputed. Hopefully that's what is really the issue here. And it's not him talking about friendship as he did previously. He's on record saying that they're good friends, and that's why that fight is not on his radar. He's on record of saying that shit, man. But I hope to God it's the whole Errol Spence, Shawn Porter, Deontay Wilder, fucking Anthony Joshua and Dillian White situation. That similar situation. I really hope that's what it is. Because if that's the situation, I could rock with that. But if it's this whole friendship shit, I just gave you several examples of why friendship and boxing and that ring in that square circle don't mean a fucking thing, man. when you're trying to basically sustain and solidify your legacy. And another thing before I close out, I could see Terence Crawford rejecting fights here and there, because to me, Terence Crawford has got one foot out the door, man. You know, he makes it seem like, you know, he's got a lot of time left. He's not really talking about retirement, nothing like that. But just the way he's been talking in the media over the last few months, he's got one foot out the door. You know, I'm hearing rumors that he may go to 154 and fight Patrick Teixeira for his WBO title that he won off of Carlos Adamez. There's actually a fucking interim belt, and the WBO elevated him because Jaime Munguia vacated the belt to move to 160. I mean, he's not even really a real champion. I don't call elevated motherfuckers a real champion unless they defend that title. He's not even a real champion, but I mean, I'm hearing rumors that Terence Crawford's looking at doing that if he can't get Errol, Spence, or Manny Pacquiao at 147. I've heard that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that he becomes a champion in his 4th division, but it's meaningless, man. Patrick Teixeira, really? People are gonna start scrutinizing. They already have, but they're really going to start scrutinizing your resume, right? They already have started ever since pretty much you moved up to 147. You got a lot of dumb niggas scrutinizing his resume at 140, but that's just the motherfuckers that don't know nothing about boxing. Resume is solid at 140 and at 135. But as you moved up to 147, that's where the problem lies. Jeff Horn, Jose Benavidez, Amir Khan, Egidijus Cavaliauskas, that's not going to fly. While Errol Spence is fighting guys like Shawn Porter, Kell Brook, you know what I'm saying? Shawn Porter's fighting guys like Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, Errol Spence. You know, those guys are making huge fights. It's not going to fly. We understand that PBC is basically freezing you out, but at the same time, you made the decision to sign back with Top Rank. So at the end of the day, it all falls back on you, brother. So going up to 154 and fighting Patrick Teixeira, yes, you're going to be a 4-division champion because that's an easy win, but you're still going to get scrutinized. You're not going to get the respect that you're looking for. You know what I'm saying? But I'm hearing that. But more so, what I wanted to cover before we exit is Terence Crawford has been saying, hey, man, these guys need me. I don't need them. I'm already in the Hall of Fame. I've already accomplished more than they could ever accomplish, or at least more than what they've accomplished already. I'm the top dog. They need me. That's the wrong mentality, bro. That's a mentality of a fighter that's getting ready to retire, in my opinion. And that's what I was telling a lot of my staff. Like, this nigga might not be here in 2022. He might be retired. Remember, I think Terence Crawford is 33 years old. He might be retired by 2022. By the way he's talking, he's saying, you know, these guys need me. I'm Hall of Fame status. If I never fight these guys, it don't really fucking matter. That's retirement talk to me, man. That's what it sound like to me. I'm just saying, man, pay attention. I feel like he's got one foot out the door, and that's why it doesn't behoove me to believe that he would reject a fight with Shawn Porter, because he feels like he doesn't have to fight that fight because of where his status is at. Besides the fact that he wants to unify, besides the fact that Shawn Porter's a friend, he feels like based on his status, it's not a fight that he needs to take. He's only looking for fights that are more meaningful, and a unification is more meaningful than fighting Shawn Porter, who doesn't have a belt. Makes sense to me, man. What do y'all think? Do what you do in the comment section. Let me know, but be real. Also, go to 3kingsboxing.com for the latest and greatest of boxing news and information, as well as interviews. The fastest growing boxing news and information media source on the net. Unbiased, unfiltered, we pull no punches, and we fucking publish the real shit. None of that watered down bullshit, man. Y'all know what it is, man. Until next time, Wont.